Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Age of Bison YouTube channel. We are locked in on the Sun Bros Elimination Finals. Winner goes on to face my co-commentator, Platypus Slayer. I'm General Spades. Plat, how are you doing today?
Doing pretty good. It is a tied series. We've seen two competitive games here. Um, so I am curious to see what Dunamai, and also keep in mind, Dunamai chose this map and he got to Civ counter Civ pick. So it will be interesting to see what he's got up his sleeves for Germany.
So, yep, doing my picking Germany and the map Colorado. Germany can be a fairly coin-intensive civilization, and Colorado known for having lots of coin. Mines scattered everywhere. Two big choke points in the middle of the map, and four trade lines, one of which is untakeable by your opponent. His opponent, by the way, is LFS, of course. Playing as the Russians, one of the civs that has had a very high amount of success so far in this tournament. I think they've only lost one game in five.
That is correct. Russia is a very powerful Civ. People often put it middle to high. It's not a subtle Civ. It's not a tricky Civ. Although LFS does put his own spin onto it often, which we may see here. But basically, Russia, it's an H2 Civ. It sets up blockhouses outside of your base, and it tries to cost effectively bleed you out with their combination of cheap but cost effective units. So on the other side, we have Germany, which loves to get to age 3. It does not like to typically fight in age 2. However, its age 3 shipments are arguably one of the best in the game. And it also likes to run around and slaughter your villagers with Ulans. So we've got two very aggressive civs here, but they like to play at different times. So I think this match is going to come down to, can Russia lock Germany into age 2? And if Germany can get to age 3 and use that momentum to really hammer back against Russia.
So we're going to take a look at these two players' decks here. Soviet Union is the
That's the
label
LFS deck.
on the Russia deck, which we have seen him use in this tournament before. So I believe what the plan is here, not to spoil it too much for you, is to go Logistician and spam some blockhouses. This is a great map for it, Platypus, as like we mentioned earlier. Choke points right in the middle of the map, so you can block up this entire section between all the trees with blockhouses and really force your opponent to go all the way around the base.
Yep.
Other
I
than
mean,
that, it's a fairly typical Russian deck.
correct. Something to think about too with the logistician. It's almost like turning your blockhouses into a combination of the village from China and an outpost, because you get an outpost, you get a barracks, you also get 10 population space, all for 250 wood. So, you lose a lot of momentum with the logistician because you have to age up with 900 food, but he's used it to quite a bit of success so far this tournament. I believe most of those Russian wins we mentioned earlier comes from him using this off-meta strategy that, in a map like this, if Dunamite can't figure out a way to get to age 3 and get enough cannons out to siege him down, he may be in trouble.
We'll take a look over at his deck here. It's called Ja, which I don't think that has anything to do with Sweden. Knowing Dunamai's naming strategy, I think this might be archaic infantry focused. So he does have the crossbowman card, and we might see crossbow pike. I'm not entirely sure. We're gonna have to keep an eye out on the unit comp. He is aging up now with the quartermaster. Typical Germans, 400 wood coming in, and LFS is going to be going with the logistician. That click coming in right now. Yep, there it is. With the logistician, going to be transitioning most of his settlers over to wood, chopping for a blockhouse, which with distributivism he should already have. And there's the villagers going to... No, I thought those villagers were going to go forward. We only got one villager going forward and dropping. There we go. There's the first blockhouse clogging up the center of the map as close to the trade line as possible. So
Because it counts as an outpost, it can be built in age 1. That's what makes the Russian rush again. It's coming. But it's so strong is because mechanics like this. No other civ, to my knowledge, can build. Again, correct me if I'm wrong. Can build their barracks units. That is also an outpost, therefore discouraging other forward bases. In age 1 in transition. Every other civ has to wait, and that adds an extra 20 seconds, which doesn't sound like much, but in a game between two aggressive civs where every shot counts, that can be the difference between a win and a loss.
let me turn the Civ time, the game timer back on. Pardon, I don't know how long that was. That was not showing, but yeah, Russia is the only Civ that can get their barracks out age 1, and like you said, you can build this now. A second one coming out with all the wood that he's chopping, and he's, I believe, going to get a third one from the logistician upgrade. I may be wrong there.
He does get a military wagon. It can be a blockhouse or a stables, if I remember correctly.
I imagine it's going to be a blockhouse. We will see when it comes out. First shipment, probably 13 Strelets. Military wagon.
So, yeah.
And is sending it up here. So taking control of this hunt up to the north. Probably a pretty good decision here, as you've already got these 2 blockhouses going to be blocking out that center choke. Now you've got this wood, you've got this coin secured against a civ that is known for raiding. We'll pop back over to him. 3 settler wagons and 2 Ulans going to be his first card in age 2, as well as training 5 crossbows. So there's the settler wagons, and these Ulans going to be coming out, and unfortunately going the wrong direction. They're going to be diving straight into this blockhouse that is now officially up. Germany does have another shipment, as we imagine we'll be expecting to see the trade line for Germany up.
Interesting. So this is definitely an extended age 2 play from Germany. Crossbow are not bad, but they're not going to trade cost effectively with Strelets. So it's going to be curious to see what Junimai, responds to this aggression, especially because he's got crossbow. But I don't see any other Ulans, since they're up north getting shot by blockhouses.
Up north getting shot by blockhouses, gonna kind of hang out there and maybe.
But there's 3 villagers on that wood line.
Yeah, so if they. Let's see.
He sees that.
He does see that, and certainly is paying attention. Otto von Wololo going to be diving back, maybe be taking a trade post here, as there's the Ulans and the crossbows. We'll turn Fog of War off, and this is just the massive crossbows alone will do it, but the Ulans are going to get on the Strelets, wipe those Strelets off the face of the earth, as Joseph Stalin comes to try and save the day, but it's going to be too late. We see this.
The 5 Cossacks, and these can just clean up those crossbow. I don't think those Ulans too are not going to trade. Cossacks are one of the cost-effective cavalry in the game. Those wagons have to run now too. Ugh.
So those wagons, I think LFS is more focused on getting these crossbows down rather than taking out the settler wagons. Now we've got Minutemen being called for Dunamite here. I said it right the first time, and now you have to kind of worry if you're Dunamite here, because your mass has been wiped. And Russia is.
Got settler wagons fighting up north too, and I don't remember if this is a recent thing. I'm probably just a conspiracy theorist, but I do not remember villagers having just so much aggression in their hearts until a couple patches ago. They will actively seek out a fight and defend their country, even if it's a heavy cannon or a Mamluk or.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I think villagers these days have a great sense of patriotism, and they don't want to give all the credit to their military. Platt, I think they decide that they're going to take matters into their own hands a lot of times and try and, maybe win a Purple Heart or something. Take out, can you imagine what it would be like if a villager took out a Mameluke? Like, that villager is glorified for the rest of his life.
All right. You know what? Since they want to keep adding promotions everywhere, F it. Add a promotion for a villager.
Yes. That is the type of stuff that gets Platypus Slayer hired on at what is it? Forgotten Empires. Yeah,
Yes.
hire Platypus. He has all the good ideas. Anyways, back to the fight here. LFS getting pretty risky with these villagers up here. We don't see. Let's see if he. So, Dunamai obviously sees the dead hunts there. Sending wood, which obviously is going to get 2 Ulans with that. And then, indeed, it looks like I was correct. This is a archaic mass. So we've got 19 crossbows, 8 pikes, and still has a couple of Minutemen left as these Ulans are going to come around and maybe try and find some more raids to do.
Curious that he hasn't grabbed a trade post, though. Germany does have a more expensive, what we often call XP curve, meaning that they need 10% more XP before they are allowed to send another shipment.
Is it 10? I thought it
usually-
was 7. I could be wrong.
Germany has 10%
Okay.
because DE civs have it easier. For a variety of reasons. Also, DE civs don't send, murder boys for free with every shipment. So it is a trade-off.
Yeah.
Anyways, oh, he's looping around here. He looks like he's trying to attack from a different avenue, maybe hoping to see some hunts or some villagers out. But so far, Dunamai is keeping close to home, and he's trying not to let his army get separated. Oh, we got 700 coin.
We've reached a point in this tournament where most of the players are pretty good at not allowing their villagers to be out in the open. I say that as one villager is certainly going to be died. Yes, be died from being left out in the open.
Correct.
And let's see, some Dops and Ulans coming in. Maybe another villager going down. I don't know if they're going to get this house out.
That's kind of actually huge.
There's 2, yeah. And the house is going to go down. Some pikemen going to come try and deal with this, with the crossbow mass coming behind. Meanwhile, we do have more raids coming in for LFS, or against LFS here. And as here's the mass of pikes, realizing that maybe they shouldn't take this battle against the Strelets, but they're going to dive in anyways. The crossbows are diving in, and there's the Dops behind it. So this is going to be a clean potentially for Dunamai here. Crossbows getting in on the action. The Dops are going to surely micro over to the Cossacks. Cossacks deciding better against it, going to loop around, try and get to the Strelets, or to the crossbows, but nope.
Now he's got pikes on him.
The pikes are on the Cossacks. Pikes are now on Strelets and Musketeers here. Meanwhile, these Ulans are still hanging out. Got to go north a little bit. There's some villagers up there, and Dunamai chasing LFS away from the raids. Did lose a house. Did lose a couple of villagers, but doing a good job of countering that.
If you're fighting against Russia, like, this is what you want, right? Russia can bully, but if you have a mass that, only so many units can fight. Strelets do have 14 range, Ruskins have 12 range, and the cost effectiveness of Russia isn't really able to kick in because the opponent's mass is just so large. So LFS, he's gonna have to kind of think of something, a way to either buy time or get back in this game, because between the Ulan raids and the kind of constant losing of his mass and not trading as cost effectively as he liked, again, Russia's a very strong civ, but it is not considered OP, and we're seeing exactly why. And this is how you fight Russia. And that's just okay.
Okay, that is pretty much the entirety of LFS's mass that he has. He's got 18 Musketeers and 10 Strelets. What?
So the trade post was never built for Russia.
Oh no.
Oh, okay, maybe it just started. Okay. Looks like you got somebody on it.
Okay, there's a Vil all the way in the back. Okay, he didn't want to bring his Explorer up to trade it. Okay,
thankfully.
gotcha.
That was a bug that until recently was just extremely common. That, again, in earlier segments of our tournament, in fact, we saw it in the LFS versus Potato game where the Explorer went on strike, and until he had a wage agreement, refused to build anything. I mean, in seriousness, it's a DE bug that's very well known, where the Explorer will not path to your trade post. It has been more rare. I do believe they, quote, fixed it, so Hopefully that is just a relic of the past and we see what we just saw.
It is
But let's get back to
definitely,
the action.
yeah, it's definitely being tracked. They said that they have made efforts to fix it. I have not run across it recently, so maybe it's good. Maybe it's fixed. Maybe it's not. We'll find out. Meanwhile, we've got another shipment just arrived for Dunamai. I don't know what it was.
You know, and I got to give credit to Dunamai right now because I started off, again, like the caster's curse, right? Talking about how you shouldn't fight Germany in age, or Germany doesn't want to fight Russia in age 2. And we're seeing a pretty successful age 2 fight by Dunamai, again. And to be fair, LFS is playing off meta. And Dunamai, he's so far, I don't want to jinx him, have caster curse twice in a game, but he's kind of showing that, okay, you don't want to play meta, well, I won't play meta, and coming with a really solid strategy because those crossbow outrange the straylets. He's got so much pike that they can actually probably just bum rush and siege down those blockhouses, and there's still the ever-present fear of Ulans raiding into your base.
And sure enough, you say that now, and here are 4 Ulans from shipments waiting to dive in on the settlers, which LFS saw and decided to run away from. Now these crossbows going to come in and sit under 3 TCs to try and get the strelets down. Maybe not the wisest idea without some support. These crossbows are just going to be tanking Strelet and Musk fire and blockhouse fire. You got 21 pikes here, Platt. I think you push in here.
I agree, and I believe he's on his way up to 3, so maybe he's waiting to get veterancy upgrades and just really seal the deal, right? He's got this huge mass. Why throw it away? Just keep your opponent busy, get up to 3, and then absolutely hammer him with your upgraded units.
Keeping his opponents busy for sure, sending some idols, forcing the units to come back. Didn't quite get a villager. Might end up losing this entire Ulan mass. Like you said, is aging up to 3 with the bishop, so he's going to get that town center here. Meanwhile, we'll look over at LFS, who may be considering going to age 3 now. Coin coming in. Great little trick. I know we just missed it, but great little trick to break snares. If you ever find yourself in a snare, take the unit that's attacking and just sacrifice him, and your units will break the snare and get away safely, which is what we just saw. So there's a 700 coin in for LFS. He's going to be gathering that up with his coin villagers and potentially angling for an age up here. Unfortunately for him, Dunamai now has the age advantage.
Moly.
Now sending 9 Ulans. 30 Vils to 33, so LFS still in the game. Not out of it by any means in terms of eco. But once these, let's see here. Do we have veterancy? We do not have veterancy, but no. And he's not. Well, that is a lot of food he's got built up. Oh my goodness.
Is he trying to go industrial behind this?
I'm not sure. So there's veterancy. I mean, I imagine, yeah, okay. So the remacro has happened. He just ended up with way more food than he thought.
And that's a common thing to be fair, with Germany, because those wagons count as 2 villagers and they get upgraded so cost effectively. They will often overgather, just wipe out hunts and res if you're not paying attention. And okay.
The next thing you know, you still have 2,000 food floating, even though you've got 2/3 of your villagers on other resources. So here's the dive. Now the blockhouse, the wall of blockhouses has showed up, maybe a little bit late. We'll see what happens here, but that is a large mass of Ulans diving in on nothing but Strelets and a few Musketeers. So this looks like it might end up being GG as a plume of blue +10s are popping up all over the battlefield here.
And that veterancy, it just started, so I mean, he could have waited a little bit more, but then again, why wait? Look, you've got such an overwhelming number to your opponent, and wow, well played by Dunamai. To finally crack the Russian turtle.
Taking Russia, beating Russia at its own game, it certainly appears like. As I imagine that huge mass wipe, as now the 8K score lead means GG is going to be called soon. This blockhouse never got beat. Holy, that's GG. Well played to both of these civs, both of these players. Dunamai now up 2-1 on match point in this best of 5 series. Platypus, Lesbian has the advantage here. LFS has the advantage going into the next game, able to pick a map, able to pick a civ, counter pick a civ. What are you expecting? Let's look to the future a little bit, knowing what we've seen from these two players recently and in their past tournament history.
Well, let's see here. First off, just, kind of summarizing this game, I think Dunamai just took I think the first loss Russia's had.
It
And not only
might be the second. I'm not sure.
that, regardless, he took Russia's game and, like you said, he spun it around on his head. He took the cost-effective fights. He built up slowly, and instead of slamming his head into the turtle, he bided his time. Um, let LFS, he spent all these res into blockhouses that could have been different things. Could have been units, could have been re-macro towards gold for more Cossacks. Um, Dunamai, like I said, both these guys are thinkers, and we saw Dunamai basically say, well, if you're going to play off meta, I'm also going to play off meta. And in the end, I think Dunamai's Age 2 play really kind of showcased how adaptable he is as a player. And again, credit to LFS. This is a strategy I'm pretty sure is unique to his that has been an absolute terror throughout this tournament. So um, we got to see two players with their off-meta strategies, go head to head in a competitive environment. And looking forward, now, like you said, the ball is in LFS's court. He gets to pick the map. He gets to counter pick the Civ. We know he's strong with China. He might be saving it for a game 5, or but he's on match point. So we might see the good old China out soon. As for Dunamai, I'm not sure. I'm sure he's just waiting to see the map, and he's feeling good, saying, "Hey, I could lose the next game." So I'm not going to pick my top Civ, maybe.
Regardless, this is going to be a very, very fascinating game 5 or game 4 for sure. Again, this whole series has been back and forth.
Mhm.
I mean, I wouldn't even say I would say the only game that has been really decisive was probably game 1. Like this could have gone either way with a little bit. Both these players are playing very tight. Both of these players are very aware of the skill that the other player brings, and I got to say this is probably one of the most entertaining series of the whole tournament, and it has been brought to you in the semifinal match. This is the third place match.
Yep. Both these players really showing that they deserve to be here, that they came to play, they did their research, they did their strategies, and I think it's paying off. So kudos to both players. Good luck to them in the next match, and I really look forward to game 4.
Absolutely. If you like this video, go ahead and leave a like down below. Comment what your favorite part of the video was. Comment what you think maybe LFS could have done differently to end up on the victorious side. If you got it to this far, I appreciate it. Subscribe for more content, and there's a link in the description to our Discord where you can join the next tournament. We're a pretty friendly bunch over at the Sun Bros. We're not pros, don't pretend to be, and we're just here to have a good time and play a 18, 17, almost 18-year-old game at this point. Man.
An old game that we all love to hate, and we love to play it as seriously as we can, even though we play it goofily. So we encourage all of you to come over and say hi, and we have another 2v2 about to kick off here. So and just kind of general community games. Every skill level is welcome, and we hope to see you around. And if not, well, thanks for watching.
Yeah, we'll see you in the next one. Peace out.